All right, so welcome back. This is hour number 2 of Tampa Home Talk, and I am your host, Katrina Madewell, hanging out with Leo Kane, and of course, Mr. Adam Talley is taking the day off for his birthday, which is Monday, and happy birthday, Adam. Hope you have an amazing and fascinating birthday.
But if it's Monday, I don't understand. And I tried to ask him.
Oh, he's taking probably 4 days off. No,
his birthday is Monday. This is a Friday. This is a completely different week. In fact, come Monday, we're going to be keeping time in a completely different manner than we are today.
You're right, we are, because the clocks actually roll back.
Yep. They roll back. I get an extra hour of sleep. I love it.
Since we missed our little, snafu on hour number 1.
We violated the Chekhov's gun principle, which means if you show a gun in the first act, it has to go off in the third. It's a standard rule of drama and television.
And we missed it. So, all right. So, let's...
So, the average amount spent on Halloween costumes is...
Well, should we give one more guess? Okay, you got, a minute to text.
I'm not violating the principle again. We've already angered thousands of our listeners.
It's got to be close to $100.
You're close, Pat, but you're not close. You're not as close as.
Here's our guess. Hold on.
You're not as close as.
There might be some other ones. So if there's anybody that's closer, we will.
I think Larry Schmidt. He was the closest. He had 91.
Yes, he was.
So the actual value is $86.37.
Which is crazy to me, but I guess that's accurate.
Well, that's got to take into account all the accessories.
Yeah, I guess. Like you said, if you're doing the nurse costume and you start adding the stethoscope and all the extra stuff.
Yeah, so I'd like to give a special thank you to Larry Schmidt for being the winner.
He's our regular listener. Really nice guy, too. I owe him some time. I need to call him and
What are we going to give him for winning?
It was like a $15 gift card.
Where he's going to get a $15 gift card.
But for him, I think I'm going to take him to lunch. Let's go to the Tampa Club, Larry. I'll take you and your wife, Carol. She is not only
going to give you a gift card for lunch, she is going to be there when you spend it.
Unless he doesn't want to go with me, then I'll just give him the gift card. That's okay, too.
She's going to be there when you spend your gift card for lunch.
Stop it.
I love it. I love that. I got to start doing that. I start giving people gift cards.
No, I will totally give you the gift card. You don't have to hang out with me. I'm just giving you the option.
I think Pat's trying to talk to us. Was he?
Nope.
But don't worry, it's off the air. It's off the air. Joe's here instead of Tony.
All right. So, we have a couple of guests here lined up for this hour, and one of our guests is actually a call-in. And so, I think Joe, you're filling in for Tony, right? At America's Escape game, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
All right. So, tell us about this. So, this is getting trapped into Halloween fun, and you do one of these crazy escape rooms. I take it, right?
Yes. We currently have 4 rooms. We're getting ready to launch our 5th room, which is Caretaker. And we're Halloween all year round, actually.
Oh, so your regular theme is Halloween?
Well, no. We have a scary room named Asylum, and that is launched all year round. So it's a game that anybody can play anytime.
All right, so I've never been to one of these escape rooms. Walk me through this. What can I expect?
Okay. Well, it is basically and I should say a themed room. Our rooms are not just one room. We're multi-chambered rooms. You have to figure out how to get from one room to the next room to the next. And each one is themed based on, whatever, the subject is. The asylum, basically, is a burnt-down mental institution. You have to solve the mystery. So you will be faced with a bunch of puzzles, challenges that you need to do to advance yourself through the room. To get to the end, you have an hour to accomplish your mission. Once you get to the end and basically win the game, you find the escape code, which, solves the objective, whatever it is.
Maybe it's because I've never done it, but I don't know. What about you, Leo? Do you do the escape rooms?
I want to do an escape room. I've never had the opportunity to, because a group of my friends don't want to hang out with me to solve a puzzle because they think
make the puzzle.
they think I know everything.
Yeah, no. The running joke is everybody wants to play trivia with Leo. Nobody wants to play against him. Right?
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm not the best at trivia either, but I just have this.
A lot of useless knowledge rattling around up there.
Yeah, and I tend to solve puzzles pretty quick, like escape room puzzles. But I really do want to test myself in one of these rooms.
I don't know.
Well, you have to play together. So our rooms can hold anywhere from 8 to 10 people. So it's not just you doing it. Everybody has to work together. That's a little trickier.
I would do it, but I could see myself getting really annoyed that I was in some made-up room. And
so is this like a floor is lava kind of thing where there's you have to navigate a room without touching the ground?
No.
Oh.
You
So-
touch the ground here.
So are there people that don't actually finish the escape room? Is it timed? It's 1
It's
hour?
timed. It's 1 hour.
Okay.
It is 1 hour, yes. And, the thing, if you're brand new at it, you haven't done it before, and I'm not going to say our rooms are easy. We have a 20 to 25% escape rate on all of our rooms. So they're challenging.
Oh, so most people don't actually?
No, they don't.
Oh, I thought everybody got it.
No, if it was too easy, then.
That'll be 2 people, too. They're included in that mix. So 2 people coming to play a 10-person room. It's going to be a little more difficult for them. What I have, too, is a half-price replay. So if anybody does not make it out and they really want to get out of that room, they can come back and play for half price.
That would be me. I would be really irritated that I couldn't figure out how to get out. And then I would be like, yeah, I'm
The
figuring it out.
easiest way to get out is just to wait an hour.
That would be
Yeah,
one.
you can do that. But like Crisis at 1600, there's a missile launched against the White House. You have to stop the missile launch, save America. You would kill everybody.
You'd kill everybody, Leo.
But you'd still get out of the room.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, the easiest way to solve these escape rooms is just to wait an hour.
Just wait.
Well, you might as well spend your hour somewhere else then. You're supposed to be having fun.
You'll be surprised at how well you'll do.
So how difficult are these? Like, did you give me a percentage of people that actually
You
get out?
20%.
That's
Well,
what.
I will tell you this. There are some escape room junkies out there who love to play these. Before we even opened up to the public, they're knocking on the door. So, you kind of have those people who are really good, and they can get out in less than an hour. I've had 35 minutes in my toughest room teams get out. They're really into it. And then you have newcomers. Like, I kind of feel like, they're like during the headlights the first time. But as you do escape rooms, you get better and better because you start learning on what to look for.
Okay, that's what I was just thinking. What should you be looking for? Like, what are the people that haven't figured out know that the first time newbies wouldn't know?
You grab the book on the bookshelf, you shake them all for the key.
Well, it's a hunt and find, right? You find that first key, it opens something, unlocks something, and then the next, what you find in there is going to advance you. Be like, oh, well, that's over here. How does this match up? And you start to advance yourself slowly. So knowing, I think, personally, that everything in that room is there for a reason. Why? What is it used for? What is it linked to? What can I find out of that is important.
So I guess it's on the order of geocaching in a different level.
Well, no, geocaching is where you actually have coordinates for something and you find it. Here,
Yes.
you're just in a room of stuff.
But you're still looking for stuff. There's clues. You still have to look around to find the thing if you're geocaching.
Is
Have you ever done it?
Is that still a thing anymore?
My husband has.
Yeah, we've done it every now and again. I'll tell you the cool thing about geocaching is a lot of times they are put in very specific places for a reason. They're really cool, like the stuff around there when you stop.
I
and
like
look.
finding geocaches and just throwing more junk in there. It's like, oh, here's my collection of junk someone buried.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so where is America's Escape game located? Where are you guys at?
We are located in Carrollwood on Dale Mabry, in the Carrollwood Center Plaza. We're located inside of a strip mall, basically.
Okay. And you're doing it. You have a Halloween theme room right now. And what does it cost to do the escape rooms?
It depends on the room. Right now, I have 2 rooms reduced rates, kind of help out with people who may be struggling with COVID, the pandemic. So, pandemic, believe it or not, I've been here before this pandemic. But Crisis at 1600, I told you about, missile launch against the White House. That one and Pandemic are both $25 per person, and then Asylum and the Shack are $35.
Okay.
We're getting ready to launch. Caretaker will be another scary room. That room's going to be an hour-and-a-half room, and that will be $45 per person.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Can you offer any discounts for our listeners if they mention Tampa Home Talk or they mention my name?
Absolutely, absolutely. Just have them call me, and I will book that game for them and give them 20% off.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much for joining us here. And what's the best number where they can reach you?
Yep, it's 813-488-4090.
All right. And then we'll also give out our regular on-air number. We'll give you guys that out again. And we'll get you connect with any one of our guests that you're looking to connect with, whether it's the last one and you want to get some spooks out of your house, or you just want to visit the escape room, maybe with your family or your team. Thanks so much for joining us, Joe.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. And we'll be back here in segment number 2 in just a minute. We're going to jump on over to Jessica Frigo. Frigo, I was close. And she's with the Spaulding Decon. They were with us here last year, if you remember. And we're going to talk about some of the spooky stories that they have seen on the job because they do crime scene cleanup. All right, stick around. This is Tampa Home Talk. We'll be back in just a moment. And for those of you watching,
Well, good morning. Welcome back into the studio when we're just going live. She's about to take some photographs of us. No one can see her because she's not on camera.
welcome back.
Welcome back.
This is Tampa Home Talk for those of you listening.
Yes, and now we have Jessica Frigo from Spaulding Decon. Not design.
Yeah, wrong show, Bill. Wrong show.
Design would be a little bit gross for what you do.
Well, last year, for those of you listening, if you remember, we actually, one of our hours was a Halloween-themed show, and we did crime scene cleanup. We had a whole bunch of you guys in the studio, and we were literally talking about some of those crazy stories. And Corey, Lord knows, you will probably have something to add to this, I am sure.
Oh, boy.
So let's talk about some of these fun stories and things you guys have seen on the job. And I'm going to let you guys talk for a few because I'm sure you can talk way more about this than I.
We have a lot of crazy stories, actually. We were actually a franchise, so what I did was I sent a message out to the entire franchise system asking for some of the crazy stories that they may have
look
seen.
at there.
Wait, you're a franchise?
We are a franchise. We are.
Was that new from last year?
No,
Okay.
we've been franchising for a few years now. We're actually at 30 franchises, and with the pandemic, because we are a recession-proof franchise, we've already been doing viral
I guess you guys
disinfection.
are
It kind of helped,
You guys are recession-proof, right? Because people are always dying, and there's always stuff you got to clean up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess
absolutely.
technically you're in a growth market now.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
absolutely. Technically.
That was good.
Thank you.
Well, in addition to crime scene cleaning, we also do hoarding, and sometimes we actually have the two mix. So my first job.
Oh my gosh! Of course you do.
So my first job, that Laura, the president of the company, actually makes everybody, whether you are a tech or you're in corporate. I'm the marketing director. She made all of us go to this first job. It was someone who had perished in the bathtub, unattended death for a few weeks. He was also a hoarder. So my first experience was a little bit of both. And in the middle of it, we had a respirator mask on, so you couldn't smell a thing.
And let me just tell you something. I am not a crime scene cleanup. I'm not a crime scene cleanup person. I am not in your world, Mr. Corey. I am not in law enforcement. And I can tell you, as a real estate agent, I have seen. I've not seen. I have been to a property where, hazmat pretty much just left. And once you get that smell, it stays in your nose. It does not go away for a while.
Absolutely. And so that's what she made us do. We went into the house with our respirators on. So nothing, take a look around, kind of see it.
Can you still smell it with the respirator?
No,
Okay.
you cannot smell it at all with the respirator. So what she had
Thank
us
God.
do was take the respirator off for a few seconds and breathe it all in.
Oh, boy.
And then explain what it is.
Why would you breathe it all in?
Here,
Just get in this gas chamber
Well,
really quick
we had
and take a couple
it
deep
on,
breaths.
on our Instagram Live. We have large social media followings as well, and so it was kind of just interesting. She just wanted to get our first take. And so,
First taste?
Yeah, really, that's what it was, because it did not leave. And it burned your nose so bad that even after you
It
put the
stayed in your
respirator on,
nose for
it
like 2
stayed
weeks,
in.
right? Easy.
It felt like I was taking Q-tips and going in my nose and trying to clean this out. But the worst part was, while we were there and after we had taken our mask off, put them back on, she let us know that we were actually walking on top of fat that had been,
Well, it liquefies, literally, like, yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. So
The one that I was in, it actually went down the wall on a 2-story townhome. So, yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
he melted in the bathtub?
he melted in the bathtub.
and the water was still
the
on?
water. No, I think what had happened was because your body expands and
the-
so
Oh, that's
the
true.
water.
Yeah, the
and the
water.
fluids,
Yeah.
It was
Bloats.
a little bit gross. It was just
Even without the water, the fluid
even without
still
the water,
escaped,
the
yeah.
fluid would still escape. Yes.
All right, so what's the worst thing you've ever seen during one of these crime scene cleanups?
She just
So
said it.
well,
Was that it?
that was the worst one that I'd
Okay.
actually been on site of. But being the marketing director, and we do have our YouTube channel, Crime Scene Cleaning, I'm able to see the edits that don't make the show. And there are some things that I've seen that just, it stays with you because it's solemn in a way as well. We have a lot of suicide cleanings. We have a lot of, murder suicides that we do clean up. And there's different things that you learn along the way. I actually learned that with a headshot wound, that the skull fragments actually boomerang throughout the whole room. So if it happens in a kitchen, there have been pieces found all over the house, underneath dressers, in rooms that were even closed. It just makes it underneath everything, and it's insane to think that it, travels that far.
Little shard of skull is down in the other room.
I mean, to do your own enactment, take a watermelon and shoot it at close range with a gun, and you'll get a similar effect, because when you have that much power over that short distance, the kinetic energy hasn't actually dissipated.
I don't want to clean that up.
Watermelon?
You can call us. We'll do that too.
The watermelon too. All right. So since we just had the Paranorma people on, it would be very appropriate for me to ask you: have your techs ever experienced any of this paranormal stuff? Since they're cleaning up the crime scene, there's still a body there.
Absolutely.
Are they experiencing any of this?
Absolutely. So we have a few. We actually have a cat that we took in from a suicide. That we had cleaned up, and this cat, you feel its energy, and it has this, it's Benji the cat, he's on our social as well, and you kind of feel his energy and just like how he is and his movements and everything and the way he was on the scene. But one of my techs told me a job that she had went to, there were pentagrams everywhere. There were all these satanic things there, and it was just, they didn't even find
the house?
Inside the house. But they didn't even find all that until after they were cleaning things up, and they felt the house was a little bit off. There was something there. Obviously, every house they go into, it has a heavy feel, but in this one, it was different. And so she was saying it felt like she was hearing stuff, and she was always seeing things, move. And then when they found the pentagrams, it was kind of a whole different aspect.
All right, so you took a job as a marketing person at this crime scene cleanup place.
She didn't start that way. When she did her first, she was actually going to be a cleanup tech, and then when she took her mask off for the first time, she's like, I have a degree in marketing!
Don't make me do that. Yeah.
So was Halloween your favorite holiday?
Absolutely.
Tell me about the attraction.
So Halloween's always been my favorite holiday. I've actually been in the franchise marketing field before, and so this opportunity opened up, and when I had researched into it and saw the juggernaut of our YouTube channel and millions of views per video, and I was like, okay, this has something that there's things they can build upon. And so seeing that, and I think everybody has a kind of twisted want to and desire to see these things. It's kind
deep
of weird
down inside.
It is. A lot of people, if you look at true crime, a lot of that
that's
is
why
is
when
all
people
over
are
the
driving down the interstate and there's an accident, there's so many rubberneckers, people turn their neck to see what's
like a train wreck. You want to know, and so that's what we see too. And a lot of people that follow us, they're so deep into it, they want to know more. It's like we can never give them enough to the story. There's always what happened now? What happened now? So we're going to start doing follow-ups on previous shows and whatnot that we've done, because we are getting a lot of questions too.
Wow.
Where are they at now, or what happened with this? And
so have you guys ever had a job that actually made you cry, it took the life out of you and melted you down? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so that's the obviously the somber ones are suicide ones. We did have a veteran suicide, and that was one that was a little bit daunting. He had written all these words on the wall. You could tell he was in a place of distress when everything happened. And so those ones are always hit really hard to us. I have veterans in my family. We're a veteran-owned company, and any suicide's hard, but those are especially hard because when they're not getting the treatment and whatnot that they need, and you see these things through their house. You see, things are in disarray.
Yeah.
You see empty fridges. You see food everywhere. You see scatterings. You see broken mirrors, and just things, you can tell the distress that happened up until that point, and just seeing.
If I'm not
things on the wall.
mistaken, Laura, your owner of the company, she was from a law enforcement background, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually why she started the company. She had someone come up to her after being on scene at a homicide, and they said, "Well, who's going to clean this up?" And a lot of people don't think that. They think, the cops are going to clean it up, or, something's going to happen. And she was like,
the fire department.
She was like, well, I don't know. And she started looking into it. And then that's when she went for her training and ended up doing that.
Need for this.
Yeah, there absolutely is a need for it. It's a need-based company.
So what's one of your favorite episodes? And it can be yours and or tell me about your following. Which one seems to be the favorite?
Well, one that seems to be the favorite is, it happened in Tampa. It was... someone had ran onto the highway, and a 18-wheeler had actually hit them, and they were committing suicide by
Walking into the truck,
by walking into it. And in the episode, while they were cleaning it, they actually found his glasses behind the grill plate of the 18-wheeler. That's one of our most popular episodes, and we see a lot of...
Do they see, like, all the gore and guts? And
So... Depends on what's still left there. Obviously, the body is taken. We will come across different body parts. We find bone fragments and whatnot, on the scene. We don't show up to a scene until it's been cleared by the police.
Okay.
But obviously, if things like that come up, we bring it to the police because it could help if it's still an open investigation.
So you have to go, like, clean it up even off the interstate? Like, the cops don't clean that up?
Well, so we didn't clean the interstate itself. The truck was actually in in an impound lot, so to speak, and so they went there and cleaned it up. We've also had a few drive-by shootings in Tampa recently, and we cleaned up a few of those vehicles as well.
Oh my
we
gosh.
had 2 in 1 week, and it was weird that our social had hit at that time, and people were like, "Oh, is this all you do?" We're like, "No, we just ended up having
a couple of
2 in the same week."
I would love to also talk about if there's ever been a job that Laura wouldn't do and why. So we'll talk about that when we come back right after the
Absolutely.
break. This is Tampa Home Talk. Stick around. If you got some questions, call or text 813-377-2775. 813-377-2775. We'll be back in just a moment.
Oh, good morning. Welcome back. Leo Kane here with Barrel Engineering and Inspection. We are here with the YouTube channel Phenom, Jessica Frigo with Spaulding. I almost said decor
Spaulding
again.
Decon.
I almost said decor again.
Decon, like decontamination, so that way
But
they
decor
won't get
isn't
it.
like
If we
brain
did-
matter all over the back
Yeah,
wall.
if we did
boy.
crime scene cleaning decor, that's a whole different service vertical.
Oh my God.
That sounds
You
like
probably could around this time. You could totally sell that.
yeah. You can be like the Spirit Halloween
Well,
store.
we do actually recreate crime scenes when we have to train people.
You
so
do?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's talk about Laura, right? Because
Yes.
tell her, by the way, I'm disappointed she didn't want to come back and join us this
No,
year.
she absolutely wanted to. We have we have 2 huge jobs this week that are going on, and we've had some new people she's had to go on and
So
train.
she's
and
nose to the grind, getting
nose
stuff
to
done.
that's how she is. She
What
is
is
knees to
a
chest.
quote unquote big job in your world? Sounds like something I don't want to walk into.
Well, it can range. We've had from a pricing scale, they run the gamut, but we've had hoarding jobs that can take 8 days to do, 8 to
Okay.
10 hours a day.
It can
We've
take
had-
8 days for us to clean up a hoarder house to get it ready for the market. So I can
Right,
understand that.
absolutely. Some that she takes and she flips, and she purchases the property from them. We have mold
Okay.
jobs that are going on because we do mold and water remediation as well. So we get a lot of those big jobs, and we have some big national accounts jobs that we're handling.
All right, so tell me, has there been a job that Laura wouldn't do?
I don't think so. Laura is a person, like I said, one of her main mantras is knees to chest. And she just goes out and does it. And seeing it from the corporate side of things, she jumps in everything, from the marketing, she jumps into franchising, she jumps in on a job. If she sees something and she talks to her text, she's
She
like,
had good energy.
here you
We
go.
liked her.
Absolutely.
We had a studio
knees,
full of
knees
crime
to
scenes.
chest sounds like fetal position. That doesn't
Yeah,
sound
maybe.
like someone that's
Well, I
doing
think it's
stuff.
like if you're running, knees to
Like,
chest.
get to
like,
it.
Get to it. Like, she is not sit down and do nothing.
Did you get the fetal position?
I got the fetal position.
Yeah, I'm like knees to chest. I'm like that's perfect.
Oh, there's blood crawling.
All right,
to the
feet
top.
to the ground. Feet to the ground.
Yeah, she's a grinder. From morning, she wakes up and does her jogging or bike riding, and then she's at the job site early. She's in our office. She is always doing things. There's crazy things that have come up. She, like I said, because we're a franchise system, she does go and help other locations do things. We do off the wall stuff too. So like a fentanyl cleaning, which are very rare, but it's very
what, a
fentanyl. It's very deathly to touch and manage, and there's not a lot of people that are certified to handle that. And we, our locations are certified to handle it. She does go and help them. Meth houses as well. Those
are a big deal.
Those can be a big deal, and they can also be dangerous because you don't know if people are still like casing areas.
Well, we
It's lots
can't
of different
resell
stuff.
a meth house until it's cleaned
Until
out.
it's cleaned
We
out,
just can't do
absolutely.
that.
Some states don't regulate it, and so
It
that's
is
why
here.
it's even crazier. But she is. I don't think there's anything she wouldn't touch, especially from a blood perspective or from a gross perspective.
So-
the things she's told me are pretty off the wall.
Some of the questions I have for you is like, do you ever get people asking you like, how are you allowed to show that on your YouTube channel,
All the time.
on your social media?
All the time. We actually, a lot of people say this doesn't feel legal to watch. We also, everybody that we have on our channel has signed a waiver. We always make sure that we cover that. We like to talk to whoever had hired us to do that. We're going to start seeing more of that in our videos as they're coming now, because we feel we want to show more of the person that hired us to do something. And if they want to talk, we'll absolutely talk to them. But yes, a lot of people ask how we can show that. YouTube does demonetize us in a way because of the nature of our items, and we've had a few TikTok videos that didn't meet community guidelines, so we'd have to go and change a few things to make sure. But absolutely everything we show it, we don't show it to get the gore factor. We're coming across from an educational standpoint. A lot of people don't realize that there's people like us that go and clean these scenes. Yeah. And we actually are, a lot of our fans,
I tell you what, last year for me, when we had you guys on, I had no idea that homeowners insurance did not pay for that. Right. I totally thought like your homeowners insurance would pay for that. And it's like, no.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's very dependent on the situation, and it's crazy. But what I like is some of our fans call us the last responders, and so that's kind of something that's been sticking with us too, because it is, I mean, it's fitting.
The final responder.
Right? Yeah.
I like final responders.
The final responders.
That'd be the name. That's a spin-off series.
Oh, there you go.
So this is a good question, and I know Corey can probably chime in on this too. Like, how do you decompress from a job like this? And Corey does all the local spoke stuff for everything with the fire department, right? And safety issues and that sort of stuff. And we've talked about this before on the air, how police officers and firemen, suffer from a lot of this post-traumatic stress, and it's a hard job. The divorce rate's high, and it's a harder thing to tackle, right? So how do you combat like being able to decompress and not ultimately being depressed? Like, there's a lot of stuff that I guess could come with a job like that.
And so I will say, when Laura is hiring the tech, she looks for people that have the mental stamina as well as the physical stamina to handle these things. And when I talk to the techs, because this comes up a lot, but with our followers and whatnot, they each have their own way of decompressing. Sometimes it's just going home and doing something as simple as a bath every day, or they just decompress with their partner. Sometimes they just leave it at work and they're able to just kind of leave it there. They'll come back to our office and we'll all talk about it, and then it's kind of just getting it out, because sometimes they just want to talk about it and then it's done. Sometimes if you keep it in too much.
So give me an example. Give me something that that was a really.
So we had a murder suicide a few weeks back that we cleaned up that was local, and some of the techs, one of them, it was their first job, and so when they came back to our office and we talked about, maybe some of the video footage and whatnot we had in the pictures, they were walking us through it and kind of going over it. And, we really do dive in with them and say like, okay, well, how are you feeling about it? And we'll just kind of gauge how they are. Yeah. A lot of the techs that we have right now, though, they're so on it, especially from a mental standpoint, they're just able to leave what's on the job at the job and then talk about it freely. I think if they kept it to themselves, that's when it's an issue. But because they have good personalities, they're able to, while cleaning the job, they will joke around with each other, not about the matter they're cleaning up, but just to keep their spirits up. Because if you go and clean this job and you're just in a negative mental space, that can kind of have more repercussions.
Yeah, I mean, think about the people like the nurses alone that do hospice. Yes. I couldn't do that. Well, that's a hard thing. I just couldn't do it.
Our lead tech actually came from hospice.
So that's probably better, I would think, than hospice.
Yes.
Because it's like they're alive and then they're not. Like, that would just be hard to deal with. I had something I was going to say and it left me. I do it all the time. So, gosh, it was on the tip of my tongue and I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, well, I guess it wasn't important.
You'll remember it like later tonight. Like, oh, that's what I was going to ask.
Later tonight. It was something about the cleanup and I just can't remember what it was. Anyway, so what are your final little thoughts you want to talk about in terms of stories or things you guys have seen?
One interesting one is I did have one of our locations in North Carolina actually clean the scene of where they filmed Hannibal Lecter and said that was a little bit intense. It wasn't a crime scene. It was just a mold and water remediation kind of thing. But just being there and knowing this was where Hannibal Lecter was shot, I feel like he was saying it just had energy in and of itself. you know. I would also say just to watch our crime scene cleaning YouTube channel. It's growing. We have a lot of new content coming out, and we're staying from the educational standpoint, and all of our socials are also about
So as a
crime scene
marketing person, you manage the social media channels, right?
Yes.
So how do you deal with the people that are like, oh my gosh, how do you post this?
We comment back to them like we always have a release. We don't want to be the type of person that just deletes bad comments.
Yeah.
We want to educate our followers or people that have seen our content and say, oh, well, we're posting this because of this.
And do you
We're
have
posting
fans
because
that
of
kind
this."
of like attack?
Oh,
you?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. We have fans that are like, they have a waiver. Don't it, like they're doing this.
So
for
they're answering your
education."
job for you.
Yes,
That's really great.
Yes, and we love our fans. We'll send them, T-shirts or our mascot is actually a maggot named Maggie. She's actually adorable. I should have brought her in today.
Maggie
the
the
maggot. I gotta see this
maggot.
thing.
Yeah, go on our social. You'll see her. She's
Is it a real maggot?
It is a cartoon image maggot, but
Okay.
our fans draw so much content, and actually what we did was our maggot that we have created into a plush stuffed animal came from an idea somebody sent in, and we actually feature all of our Maggies on Monday of fan art. So
Maggie the Maggot
Maggie the
Mondays.
Maggot.
Yeah,
love
you
it.
got a different visual, right? Because you've actually
Absolutely,
seen some of this
yes.
stuff.
Unfortunately, yes.
she's cute. She's almost like a little glowworm. It's adorable.
Well,
boy.
it's cute on that side, not so
boy.
much on the other side.
Right.
But I guess you got to make a joke out of it, right? You got to keep this
Absolutely.
like
we keep it lighthearted. We have a really good culture in the office that we continue on with our texts and whatnot. And so we love to do
I
that.
know what I was gonna say. My older son that is 26 now. He started out as a cop when he was 20, almost 21. And his first day on the job, he saw a dead body. And I was like, "Are you gonna be okay?" Like it's kind of like watching your kid. Like this is, you're growing up. Like anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's intense. It is intense, and like I said, some of the things that I see that doesn't make the final footage, it can be intense, and I have to decompress from a few things. But being there on site and seeing it,
You guys have probably got some stories, right? Like.
For days.
So what about as a fire department, there's got to be times you go into a property and you smell like a person that's been burned.
No, it's all
That's gotta have a
kittens and
different
trees.
smell.
It's all kittens and trees.
Absolutely, kittens and trees and stop, drop, and roll. No, and we actually we're very in tune to that. So we have what's called as a critical stress incident management team that deals with certain call types that our dispatch automatically drops them on. So if it's a really bad crash or something that involves a child or something of that nature, we make sure that we have our counseling team and our chaplain corps that actually goes out.
That
and
would
sits down and
probably
talks.
shake me up more than anything. Like
Well,
when there's kids involved, that would probably shake me up.
That was when I was in the field. That was the worst calls to get, or a car accident where there was an empty car seat in the back, and you're wondering if there's a child around. And then luckily you can hopefully get the confirmation that no, the kid was with the other parent or something of that nature. But
And it's worse like when you have kids. It's just worse.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard enough to see it if you don't have kids, but then when you do have kids, it's worse because you actually think could just as easily be me,
yeah, well, and I appreciate even having this conversation, because for years it was the fire service in general was you need to show up, you need to be tough. You have a bad call, you bury it deep down inside. And so we've realized that doesn't work. Over cumulative time, over seeing multiple incidents multiple times, you need to have the open discussion, and the world needs to know that, there are tough times, that we're there for our family. We try to
Didn't we
move
talk
on.
about this before on another show? I feel like we did, that before you guys brought that in and realized, hey, there's a real need for this. There are people that are responding. Wasn't your suicide rate higher?
We have one of the highest suicide rates. First responders between police and fire have one of, if not the highest suicide rates in a profession. And it's, the stuff, it's, like I said, cumulative. So over the years, you may drive past a Circle K and remember a call that happened there, or a business or a neighborhood, and like, oh, we had a really bad call there. So we're really trying to change that culture and let people know that it's okay to talk about it and to get help.
I think about just a couple of the terrible accidents that I've seen, here in Tampa. Like that was one I was young and really close to, and we literally saw the fire department pull this guy out, and the son was following him, and I'll never forget that. And I don't even do that for a living, and still, even driving through that intersection, I think about that to this day, and that's probably been more than 20 years ago.
Absolutely. We try to look at it. I try to keep the mindset that somebody's got to be there to help. So if it's me and I can affect positive, even if it's not with that patient, with the family, then somebody's got to do it. So why not be me?
All right, well, this is Tampa Home Talk, and we're going to chat a little bit about Safe and Haunting Night, which is coming up. It's tomorrow, right around the corner, and we're going to give you some tips on taking your kids out trick-or-treating. Didn't even think people were going to do that, but anyway, we'll talk about it when we come back. Stick
It's going to be a blast.
Welcome back to Tampa Home Talk. This is Leo Kane with Barrel Engineering and Inspection. I'm here with Katrina.
That's me. I'm still here.
With
Adam
Corey.
is not. It's his birthday.
With Corey.
What's going on?
And with Jessica.
Hello.
Corey's back in the house. All right, let's keep you guys entertained because I've been hearing that the phones are blowing up.
So
y'all
We're a
show
pretty good
Corey
time.
some
What are you
love.
gonna? Yeah.
so we have to know popular costumes this year. It's typically princes and
Oh,
princesses.
that is the costume this year. Like our guest right here, Jessica. That's it.
So exotic.
Yeah. typically,
Carol
it's,
Baskin.
typically it's princess and princesses, but I see a lot of ninjas, cowboys, and
Kim Possible.
Is that a thing?
is that a thing?
That's what Kaylee dressed up as.
Cowboys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I just seen cowboys, ninjas, anything else that has a natural mask attached to it.
Yeah.
Surgeons.
Yeah, definitely surgeons, nurses.
I think that Joe Exotic, like that's going to be the Halloween costume of the year because
I mean, it blew up through
Yeah.
coronavirus. Everybody stayed home and binged it. I mean,
Everyone but Katrina and I. But
So
Yeah.
do you think that was planned? Like, let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah,
Do you think that was planned? That there was a phone call in the Oval Office and it was like, unleash the tigers.
right? I mean, it kept everyone entertained for a
Really
very long
did.
time.
Well, you have to think these streaming companies, Amazon, Disney, Netflix, they sit on certain documentaries they film and they wait for the right time to release it.
Well, Disney
We
Plus
got to-
with Hamilton, same thing. They
Yeah.
were sitting on it for a while. They were going to release it in theaters, and then they realized we could release it now, and it helped Disney Plus blow up.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. I mean, timing is everything in life, right? Like everything. Why would it be any different for that?
Golly. Netflix, huh? Who'd have thought?
So, Corey, the
So-
clock's going back. It's going to be dark. There's going to be kids running around on the street.
Well, won't be going back till Sunday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And it's Saturday, so never mind.
We'll
they'll still be running in the
around
dark, yeah.
Still
Yeah.
full moon.
Yeah.
gotta
That's terrifying. Full moon nights with the
Halloween.
fire department, you're just not getting
Why?
any
You
sleep.
always get weird stuff?
Well, I mean, yeah.
There's more
Well,
light
we're
out.
always getting weird stuff. We're in Pasco County.
Yeah.
But
Oh, here we go with the Florida radar.
Florida man.
just saying.
Florida, man.
It was the running joke is there's something wild on the news that happened. It was in Florida. Always.
They have their own tabs on most news sites. It's just
Florida,
Florida.
man.
Oh, I gotta love it. So, what are some of the biggest problems you guys deal with and you see on Halloween?
Well, it's the kids running in the streets, really.
Like
You know,
getting hit by cars or like what?
it does happen. It does happen. Unfortunately, last year we had a kid that was hurt pretty seriously over in the Starkey Ranch area, over there, the Longleaf area, that was hit crossing. I think it was Starkey Boulevard. So there it is. People are trying to get home. They're getting off late. You know, it's getting dark around 6 o'clock. You know, so if somebody gets off at 6, you're driving home. There's kids everywhere. So we just
Yeah,
remind
they
people,
start
you know,
early.
They do. And so we tell people, you know, if you have glow sticks or slap bracelets, stuff like that can really highlight the kids and where they are, and just don't wander down the middle of the road. Take a sidewalk.
Yeah, well, in my particular neighborhood, we don't even have sidewalks, so everybody walks in the road. But I think it's like expected in my neighborhood. So
I think it's going to be interesting this year over past years with, you know, the current climate going on in our country now. That everything's just weird.
I really did not think like Halloween would be a thing this year, but I think because it's on Saturday and people are kind of sick of coronavirus, that might
I'm getting invites to a lot of parties. I'm not going to any parties this year, but I'm getting invites to a lot of parties. I'm thinking that's not what I want to. Yeah, just not risking it.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. You know, I understand that people are frustrated. I understand. We talked about this a couple months ago with the coronavirus. People are frustrated. They want to get out. They want to socialize. As a country, that's one of the things that makes this country great is how people love to interact with their family and with their neighborhood and that sense of community. But, this year we've seen some creative ways to pass out candy, whether it's, we were talking about slingshotting candy.
Yes.
I don't know if that's
So
really...
so this is my idea.
I like the
this whole-
PVC tube. I like
the rocket
Yes.
launcher
Yeah,
with
PVC
the candy launcher. That's what I would call
candy
it.
launch. Just load a potato gun
someone's-
up with candy and shoot children.
Someone's
with it.
gonna go totally patent this
I was
now.
gonna say you have
Yeah.
like 2 days, though,
Yeah.
or really like a day to patent.
I feel like 7 trips to Lowe's and we can make all of this happen.
Oh no! Easily we can build a potato gun and just load it with candy.
Yeah, or I think t-shirt cannon, and then you just blast all the
Yeah.
kids at once. Like,
Is that the quarter-mile social distancing that you have to
Think about how fun that would be to the kids to have candy shot at them and they got to catch it in their bag or their pumpkin or their pillowcase or whatever. Like, that would keep people back far away because no one wants to get hit up close.
Yeah.
All I can see is a little, 4-year-old kid dressed as a ghost just getting taken out
Candy in the eye.
by some dum-dums.
It's all fun and games till somebody got some candy in the eye.
Yeah, how about it?
So that's why you got to wear the old style mask, the one that
Goggles.
covers
Oh,
your
yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
Just everyone goes as a downhill skier this year.
We would put a sign in our front yard that says, "Beware, candy launcher. You might get hit in the eye."
Candy claymores are coming in. And
the Bettys, the ones that hover
the
up in the
bouncing
air, and
Bettys.
just boom, candy all over the place. That would be awesome.
That would actually be fun. It'll be interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think about the turnout for Halloween? Do you think it will be like normal, or do you think that?
Our Facebook neighborhood page has been blowing up about a lot of people doing that. We have our neighborhood block party that we normally have, and they're still having that going on. I think we're gonna just do the PVC pipe thing where we're gonna our front window is right there, or we're just going to create some little bags and leave them out for people to grab. It doesn't have to be a here you go type of situation. I definitely don't want to be the house that's not passing anything out, but I feel like if they are running around, I'd rather do it.
And
as
it's
safe as
Saturday, so I
possible.
mean, like you said, you got invited to a lot of Halloween
Yeah.
parties. So there's a good chance people are just not going to be home.
That is true. And in my case, if they come to my house, I'll just pass out kittens and puppies.
So I got it.
You just got
The
we're just going to
motion-
graze over that?
You had to mess it up. I was going to say something. No, okay. So look. No, this was on the stat. Remember, we got here, what's the 31
kinds of stuff
Halloween.
Oh, the
trivia.
30,500.
Well, there was one. Did you see the cat one? Hold on.
There was the jack
That literally wait, it's on
There's so
here.
many facts here.
They
There's
don't.
31
They don't
facts
like
there, so
shelters. Don't
There
adopt
is
black
31,
cats. Look,
one for each
some,
day.
Some
Yes.
shelters do not adopt any black cats in the month of October.
Yeah, that's like a thing with sacrifices and stuff. That's why they don't do it. It's crazy,
I can't
right?
blame 'em. I wouldn't do it either.
We're still doing that, huh?
Wait, they're sacrificing black cats?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why animal control doesn't do any cat adoptions because of the black cat thing.
Is that just in October or all the time?
I think it's just in October. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't. There's no pagan rituals about sacrificing cats, though.
I'm not down on my pagan rituals.
Well, so there was a couple things I want to talk about. One, somebody mentioned to me yesterday that.
You like how she just glosses over that?
We just moved on past pagan rituals and passing cats out.
There will be no going down and fighting on the
going down a different road.
I think handing out puppies on Halloween would neat. So they instead of the candy coming out of the PVC chute, it's just a little puppy going.
Where do you get all these puppies?
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say
Where do you
back to
keep that
that.
amount of puppies?
He's got chickens, not puppies. But anyway.
That's a chicken coming out.
Little cluckers.
A motion activated candy launcher. So it might launch at cars, but it will be fun.
Oh, that's
That'd
great.
be even better.
You can sync it with your Ring doorbell, so every time
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah,
All
every
right,
time someone
so-
rings the doorbell, they get shot in the face.
And then
with
last
candy.
thing, if you do a blood draw and you give blood, they can actually tell you if you've ever had the coronavirus, but you didn't know that. All right. So this is Tampa Home Talk. We're already out of time. This was so fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Thanks again. We'll be back in November. Love where you live and we'll fix it. Welcome home.
Bye.
Happy Halloween.